What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spotlight Productions with Octogonal Gaming today for the top 25 rundown preview for all their games through week 2. Octogonal, how's it going, my friend?
Let's get this party started.
All right, so we're gonna start off here with I'm gonna just lower Octogonal just a tad bit, just because he's a little loud. We're gonna start off with number 1, the Alabama Crimson Tide, of course. They'll be taking on Arkansas State at 2:30 on ESPN 2. This will be Arkansas State is a fairly decent team, but I don't think they have any chance to compete with Alabama. They're 1-0 this year. I have Alabama winning this game 55-7. Octagonal. If you need any more information, the spread is 36.5. Alabama. If you need any other information, I would be glad to give it to you.
No, I'm pretty confident with my pick. I went with Florida Atlantic last week. That didn't work, but you got to go bold, so I'm going to pick Alabama.
All right. So Octagonal picks Alabama out of a finals. Do you want to score, or do you just want to leave it as
a score? I think Arkansas State's all right. I'll say 53-0.
All right. They're pretty all right then. So let's go on to number 2, the Clemson Tigers, who are coming off a pretty honestly not the best game against Furman. I mean, they only won 48-7. I mean, they were only up 13 points in the second quarter at one point. I think that Clemson will struggle here against 1-0 Texas A&M. This will be at 6 o'clock Central Time. Clemson has a 68.5% chance to win. Texas A&M 31.5. The spread is 12 in favor of Clemson. And to say the least, I think Texas A&M will really give a fight in this game. I don't think they're going to win, but they are at home. So, I mean, if Texas A&M gets, I mean, their quarterback Mod had 184 yards, 2 touchdowns in week 1, and also Williams had 20 carries for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns, which I believe is a 24-yard average. I'm probably wrong on that, but it's a lot of yardage. I'm going to have Clemson win this game in a very good one, 31-28, and as for Octagonal,
I just don't think Clemson and Texas A&M stack up. Clemson should easily win this game, even though Texas A&M is a pretty nice win for Clemson. I'm going to say 31.
You there, Octagonal?
Hmm?
Okay. Well, sorry, I didn't hear your last part. I didn't hear what you said at the end. I didn't hear your score or who you picked.
I'm picking Clemson. I think they're a by far better team. Even though A&M is at home, I think Clemson's much better. My score is 31-10. I don't think it'll be too close.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Okay.
going with the Tigers.
All right. I would not be surprised if Texas A&M just came out and absolutely not demolished, but gave Clemson a game like
that could happen.
But at the end of the day, that defensive line for Clemson's just going to be too much, and they might shut down Williams. As I'm going to be excited to see who wins that game. Next, we're on to number 3, Georgia, coming off a win against Austin Perry, I believe. Yeah, they're going to be taking on number 24, South Carolina, at 2:30 on CBS. I really want to pick an upset here, but I just don't think South Carolina is going to get it done. Georgia has a 73.3% chance to win this game. The spread is 10 in favor of Georgia. South Carolina, once again, is at home, and these are 2 big matchups. I would not be surprised if one of these teams got upsetted. But at the end of the day, I think they're both going to win. But Georgia's going to get a ride by South Carolina. I think the final score of this one is going to be a very good defensive battle, 28-24. Georgia wins in a close one. They will not cover the spread. Neither of these teams, in my opinion, will cover the spread. It's only week 2. Georgia I don't even think they played just too impressive against their crappy opponent. But they did okay. But I mean, when you have a guy that ran for 72 yards on 1 carry as your leading rusher, that's a problem. Anyways,
that's kind of sad.
I mean, yeah, and then Jake Fromm only had 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say that Georgia gets this game, but they're going to have to get it together if they're going to do a lot this year. I think they'll do it quite a bit. I think they'll at least win 10 games again, but I'm going to be curious to see how they play out this game. And as of for you, Octagonal.
This game is very similar talent-wise to the Clemson-Texas A&M game. Clemson and Georgia are two of the best teams, and South Carolina and Texas A&M, they're both at home. They're both very good teams, but like the Clemson A&M game, I'm going to pick Georgia. My score prediction is 28-17. I think it'll be a little bit closer, but I'm going to go with the Bulldog.
All right, so now we're on to number 4. And that would be, I believe it's Ohio State, but I want to make sure. Ohio State moves up one spot after a 77-31 win against the Oregon State Beavers, as they're going to be taking on a crappy Rutgers team at 12:30. In my opinion, this is not even a question after putting up 77. I'm a little concerned about that defense giving up 31 points to a not a very good Oregon State team, but that shouldn't be a problem here. I think this is going to be a very similar game to the Oregon State game. I think Ohio State's going to take care of business and win this game 70-7.
Whoa, big score. I think Rutgers is going to play a little bit better than most people think. I'm going to go for Buckeyes here. I'm going to say Ohio State wins it 50-21. I would not
be surprised. That's probably a very close score. The spread is 35.5. The over and under is 63.5. I just don't see Rutgers playing that well in this game. I mean, when I think of Rutgers' best moments, I literally think of Flimlow's dynasty, to be honest with you. That is what I think of. I don't know if you watched that Octagonal, but Brent Davis is easily the best wide receiver in NCAA 14 history.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I mean, he could catch anything. Okay, sorry for off topic, guys, but we got to throw an NCAA in there. I mean, it's too good of a game not to. Okay.
It's too good.
Number 5, we have the Wisconsin Badgers dropping a spot after beating a pretty average Western Kentucky team 34-3. I mean, you don't expect Wisconsin to put up more than 50 points in games like this. As I really don't think that. Let's see who they're playing. I forgot. I've been kind of off, to say the least. I need to get back. I've been into it. It's just that they're playing New Mexico Lobos, and in this game, New Mexico did put up 62 points in week 1. That doesn't have me scared by any means. Their quarterback did throw for 327. The spread's 35. The over and under is 61.5. You know, I really think that New Mexico is actually going to give Wisconsin a little bit of a game here. Not necessarily close by any means, but there's a chance that this might be one of the games that are actually decent. Just see Michigan State, Penn State, and or there was another team that I think was
USC.
Yeah, USC get those close games versus crappy teams. I think this might be one of them for this week. I'm going to pick Wisconsin to win, but you might be a little bit shocked by my score. I'm going to go up 40-30. Wisconsin wins this game. Jonathan Taylor has a big game, and he's going to be on Heisman. I think he's already on the Heisman list, but he's going to be back or getting up there. I think 40-30 only because of his quarterback. I mean, he may be able to play, but this Wisconsin defense is pretty good. But the only reason I say that New Mexico gives a little fight here is just because, I mean, just after watching Appalachian State and Penn State and Utah State and Michigan State, I just think this is going to be the game of the week. That it's similar to that. Octagonal, I'm sure, is going to go Wisconsin big, but I just feel like this is the only game. I won't pick any other stupid picks, but I don't think that Wisconsin's going to. I don't think 35 is comfortable for Wisconsin. If OU's only at 30 versus a really crappy UCLA team, I don't think this is reasonable. Octagonal, I'm sure you're going to pick big, so I'd like to hear it.
You said it's spot on. I'm picking Wisconsin, and I'm picking them big, 41-6. I think New Mexico is a decent team. They're not terrible, but I think Wisconsin's going to beat them pretty easily.
Now,
Jonathan Taylor's going to run all over that defense, and I expect a big win for the Badgers, and I believe they will jump Ohio State and really move back to 4, and Ohio State will go back down to 5.
I would agree with you to an extent. The only reason I just think that's the only game. This is the only game I'm going to pick to be like this. But you know, I mean, Octagonal, I'm not trying to offend you in any way here, but I know there was a lot of big games that you guys picked in week 1, but I mean, I'm not taking many chances here, and I don't blame you for not taking many chances here either, because 2-6, we got to improve on that. That's God, that Octogonal might be changing his name here to I picked Florida Atlantic to make the playoffs. So if you guys see that username pop up anywhere, especially in Discord, that's why. Time to move on to
I did.
my Oklahoma Sooners. I did a whole preview on this. So if you'd like to watch it, it is on my channel. I already had my score and my prediction for Oklahoma. I think that Oklahoma's just going to run over UCLA. The only reason I say that they're going to absolutely demolish them is because they lost to Cincinnati at home, 26-17. Chip Kelly's first game.
Come on, Chip.
Chip absolutely. I mean, I hate to say this on podcast, but Chip Kelly blows. I mean, that's terrible. That is sad that he lost.
Come on, Chip.
That is just sad. Cincinnati, I mean, it's not the best team in the world. I'm picking Oklahoma 49-10. I'm not saying anything else about it. If you would like to hear what I got to say about it, link in the description. There should be a card for the prediction video. But Oklahoma's just going to stomp UCLA and get into the top 5 next week.
I agree with that. I didn't pick last week, obviously, and I obviously regret it. I'm not going to take a chance this week. I learned that Oklahoma is the real deal. I'm very intrigued by UCLA in the future. I think Chip Kelly can be an excellent
I think the
coach.
game versus OU and UCLA at the Rose Bowl is going to be the good one. But this year, no, it's not going to happen.
No. But as a Ducks fan, I obviously have a soft spot for Chip Kelly. He was excellent with OU winning this game pretty big. I'm going to say the Sooners win it 38.
All right, so now it's time to move on to number 7, which would be, I believe, Auburn, coming off a 21-16 win versus the Washington Huskies. Now, Auburn, I think they're a solid team. The last year they really turned it on towards the end, just couldn't quite get it done versus the our Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC championship game. They're playing Alabama State Hornets this week, and I'm just going to say this right now. This shouldn't be a question. I know, was it Jacksonville State that gave somebody a ride? Was it Auburn that they gave a ride back a couple years ago?
I think it was Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't expect it. I don't expect to hear from the Alabama State Hornets. When you don't even have stats, that's pretty sad. Auburn's going to win this game 63-3.
They did get rocked by Jacksonville State a few years ago, but I don't expect that to happen this time. You said 63-3. Very similar. I have Auburn winning 63-9.
Yeah, I almost thought about a shutout, but I think they're going to get a last-second field goal just to make themselves look at least a little bit better.
Yeah, it could happen.
On to number 8, which is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, coming off honestly a pretty gosh darn big win versus the Michigan Wolverines. They're playing probably another cupcake game. Ball State. The spread's 34.5. Just watching Notre Dame make that comeback, I just have a feeling that they're gonna absolutely ball out in this game. I'm gonna go with a score. I say that Notre Dame's not gonna put up as many points as you would think. I think they're gonna put up 45, and Ball State will put up 7.
Notre Dame last week, I didn't see him winning. I don't know if this is a fluke yet. I don't know how Brian Kelly can do. I think Brian Kelly is a very solid coach. He just won a big game against Jim Harbaugh, but I'm still not sold on Notre Dame. Obviously, I'm still going to pick them. I think Ball State's not going to do terrible. I'm going to say Notre Dame wins this one 24-10.
Wow.
I think Ball State's going to play a little better than this.
So you do not have them covering the spread. That's very risky over there. That won't count against your record in this set. In this series, that will not count against you. It's the win and losses in this series. Now the spread, maybe one day, but not this time. On to number 9, the Washington Huskies, coming off a very tough loss to Auburn. They're playing, North Dakota. All right, so, this is just another cupcake game. I mean, I wasn't expecting North Dakota out of all teams, but I don't know why. I'm just thinking of the Washington State game right now that Was it Eastern Michigan, I believe, that they
It might have
lost?
been.
They
No,
lost.
Washington State played Wyoming.
No, they lost to somebody that was not even in the FBS. Like 2
I know
years
they
ago.
played Wyoming last week.
Yeah, but that's not what we were talking about. But
Oh, a while ago? Oh.
yeah, but I expect Washington to roll. Score 59-14. I'll give North Dakota a little slack at the end.
Unlike you, I'm not giving North Dakota any slack. Wyoming, or not Wyoming, where am I?
North
Washington,
Dakota.
they have the talent to make the college football playoff on 56-0.
All right, so now we're on to bigger and better things as we are on to the 10th ranked spot in the country, which we'll go to. Sorry, my computer's laggy because I'm doing a ton of stuff on it. The Stanford Cardinal, who are up 3 spots this week, coming off a win versus San Diego State, 31-10. They're playing USC this week. This is probably the pick of the week right here. One of the bigger games. Might be the only top 20 matchup of the week. I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me. But Stanford has a 70% chance to win. The over and under is 56.5. The spread's 5 in Stanford's favor. The deal breaker here is Josh Allen. I'm sorry, because I think of the best player from each team in these top matchups. Stanford still has Bryce Love. USC doesn't have Josh Allen anymore. I'm going to pick Stanford to win a very entertaining game here, 35-34. Nobody covers the spread because this is just going to be a good game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If this isn't a good game, I mean, I could see it being lopsided here for one way or the other. This is a toss-up. I mean, it's just an early Pac-12 game. You really just don't have much to go off of besides USC struggling in the fourth quarter. I think Stanford gets it done in a close game. Now, I could be wrong, could be lopsided either way. Would not be surprised. But I'm very confident that Stanford gets this one done, and they will move up into the top 10 after this.
USC wasn't overly impressive last week. They ran away with it in the fourth quarter. And meanwhile, Stanford, their team I'm high on. I had them winning the national championship at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to be going with the Cardinal. They played solid last week. Bryce Love is one of the most electrifying and dominant players in all of college football.
Agreed.
And USC doesn't have that anymore. I'm going to say Stanford wins this game 27-13.
Okay, nice score. I like it. All right, on to number 11. Computer's slow. The LSU Tigers coming off probably the biggest shocking game of week 1, beating a Miami team 33-17. This game was 27-3. What I gotta say is right now LSU may be a threat. I mean, unless I could see them definitely screwing something up, unless Miami just completely sucked that bad. But wow, to say the least, LSU may be one of the teams that can play football. The Louisiana State Tigers, man. Oh wow, they're playing a crappy team this week in Southeast Louisiana Lions. I think LSU takes care of business, and I really think that they always have a good running back. The Boise guy has 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. LSU's going to roll. They're going to win this game 63. Or no, let's go with 69-0.
LSU is sort of like Notre Dame. I don't know if they're a fluke or if they're for real.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't
definitely
particularly love their roster, sort of like Notre Dame in a way. But this should be a cupcake game for them. Again, I say they win it 48-6.
Okay, I mean they could be a fluke, but we just got to see more. We only have seen 1 week of football, so who knows. Now, one of the other biggest games of the week, and I'm very proud of this team. Number 12, Virginia Tech, coming off a absolute huge Monday night win, 24-3 over Florida State. All I'm going to say right now is Virginia Tech is usually always a solid team, but this may be their year in my opinion. They have a solid roster with Josh Jackson at quarterback. I really think that Virginia Tech Hokies team could maybe, just maybe, go on to possibly go play in the ACC championship game. I think they can do it. But also there's a chance that they could screw up. This could be just a fluke. A lot of these teams could be a fluke. We'll just have to see. They're playing William and Mary Tribe, or whatever they're called. I'm not even going to take 2 looks at this game. They're going to roll, and they're going to win it 75-0. That's a little much, but I think Virginia Tech can get it done. If they're going to beat, you know what? I'm going to take that back. That's a little much. They're going to win 52-3, but I think they're going to absolutely kill them. Just look at that defense. Only holding Florida State to 3 points. Wow. Absolutely insane.
Notre Dame, I think they're a fluke. LSU, I think they're a fluke. But I see something in Virginia Tech as well. I am a fan of Josh Jackson. I really like him. He was very solid last year as a young freshman. William and Mary, sorry, this is going to be a blowout. I want to say 55-3. Actually, 55-7. I'll be nice.
All right. I'll be nice. God, that's sad. I'll be nice. Sorry, I haven't been saying times for these games. Oh, crap. Now we're on to probably the most honestly shocking performances of the week. Number 13, Penn State. Coming off probably the silliest game of the week. Beating Appalachian State in overtime. 45-38. They're playing their rival, the Pittsburgh Panthers, I believe. Yes, the Pittsburgh Panthers. The spread's 8.5. The over-under is 56. I'm going to have to call the upset after that week 1 performance. That was just terrible. Pittsburgh's going to win this game by a score of 24-21. Penn State's, without Saquon Barkley, I mean, they still have Trace McSorley, but let's be honest, they lost their tight end, and I just don't see it anymore. I mean, just after that week 1 performance, how silly it was. Penn State's going to lose this game. They don't have Saquon Barkley anymore, which is probably the biggest reason I'm picking Pittsburgh in this game. Pittsburgh is better this year. I think they have chances. I mean, they upset Miami last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can easily take care of this. Or not easily, but I think they got competition. It's a big rivalry game. It's at Pittsburgh. And I think that this is going to be my upset of the week. I think that Penn State's going to lose this game to Pittsburgh.
I very well could see Penn State losing this game, but I think they're going to win it. I think they're a better team. Personally, I thought giving them the ranking of 10 was a little generous.
Yeah.
I'm not too sold on Trace McSorley. I think he's pretty overrated. And I didn't think this team would be the same without Mr. Saquon Barkley. But I have Penn State winning this game. I'm going to say 30-13. I think it would be a pretty convincing score. It is no team to slouch on, especially on the road.
We'll see who ends up winning that one, Octagon. I would not be surprised if you got that. So I might be 24-1 this week, but surely you've made. I mean, have we picked a different team till then?
I think that was the first one. We got the high rank.
Yeah. We might have another disagreement here with the West Virginia Mountaineers. I don't know who they're playing, but I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
They're playing Youngstown.
Oh yeah, that's we'll agree on that one. But
that should be an.
Yeah, that has to be agreement. That's not a question. But this is at 5 o'clock. West Virginia, Tennessee's not back anytime soon. I'm sorry, Octagon. This is taking just a long time, but you know what? We gotta get that quality content. We gotta get that watch time. You know what I'm saying? Youngstown State. I mean, when your freaking theme is the freaking Penguins, are you serious? That's a hockey mascot. I'm taking West Virginia 55-7, and that's being generous.
West Virginia played really well last week. I think Will Greer is the most talented quarterback in college football. Decent Tennessee team, pretty playing Youngstown State. I don't think this one should be a problem. 61-7.
All right. Yeah, that shouldn't have been a disagreement. My goodness. All right, on to number 15. Michigan State Spartans played a crappy game versus Utah State last week, and now they got the Arizona State Sun Devils, who we know what happened in that dynasty. We're not going to talk about it. that was derailed real quick. Oh crap! I may have to pick another upset. Arizona State's at home this week. They put up 49 points versus UTSA. Only gave up 7. They have Keneal Harry, of course. I love playing with him. And then Wilkins is playing quarterback for them. You know what? Upset number 2, Arizona State Sun Devils are going to win this game 38-24, an absolute convincing game. Going to help out the Pac-12 a little bit. Michigan State, after that Week 1 performance, I don't trust them on the road. I mean, really, just looking at it, I don't think that they're going to be able to get this one done. I mean, they have won big games in the past like this, but one of their worst performances last year was on the road at Ohio State, 48-3. I just don't see Michigan State getting this one done. I think that they're going to be a good team this year, but LJ Scott is in his final year. Honestly, he hasn't lived up to what he was supposed to be back as a freshman, which he was probably his best. But Arizona State's going to win this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if I go 23-2 now. But, I think that picking some upsets here and there is not the worst thing in the world. As long as I'm over 7 point, or as long as I'm over 0.75, I think that I'm pretty confident in all my picks.
You know what? I agree. I'm gonna go for Sun Devils as well. Barely beat Utah State, who's not all that good.
Pretty depressing.
And Arizona State's, they're a team that I've always been pretty high on. He's a quarterback. As a Ducks fan, I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I know he torched us this year. This one phenomenal, and I'm gonna give my 220.
Sorry, you cut out at the end. What did you say for your pick?
Whole thing or just a score?
Just a score.
32-23.
All right.
Should be a close one, but
I think that's one of the better upsets to pick. Just so, I picked the 2 upsets that both teams crapped in, and I wouldn't be surprised if I lose both of them because I think one of them's going to get it together and the other one's going to suck. So that's just my take on it. TCU's playing at SMU this week. They're number 16. This is at 7 o'clock, and I think that TCU's going to roll into the Ohio State game. I really think they have a chance in that one, especially if they can get more dominance here. The spread's 22.5. TCU should roll over SMU. I'm picking the score to be only 35-13. The only reason I say that is because they're I think it's the running back for SMU, West, had 8 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown, but he had 3 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. So he's a multi-purpose back, and I think that he may get a touchdown or 2. But in the end, I think TCU is going to win, and that is going to be the pick of the week next week, the Ohio State-TCU game. I'm very excited for that one, but I just don't see SMU winning, especially losing to North Texas last week, I like them a lot, 46-23. Octogonal, I think we'll pick the same.
I will be picking the same. TCU, they had an easy cupcake game last week. They took advantage of it. They played SMU, losing to not all that great team by 23 points. I'm going to go with TCU. 49-0. And
wow.
SMU's not a FCS team conference. They're a decent team. They were really good back in the 80s, but this isn't the 80s. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Horned Frog.
All right, on to number 17. We already previewed the game versus the Stanford Cardinal. I once again think that Stanford's gonna win 35-34, and we already know the picks. On to number 18, Mississippi State. Another big game this week versus the Kansas State Wildcats. And this is one of the games that I was really excited for back in the preseason and even until now. It's going to be an 11 o'clock game. This is going to be one of the better games. This is going to be very competitive. I really see a lot of defense in this matchup. This is a tough game to pick, especially with Kansas State at home. The spread's only 9 in Mississippi State's favor. But in these situations, when you have a better Power 5 conference, I'm going to have to just go with the SEC here. Mississippi State's going to win this game 38-31 in a let's go 28-21 in a very well-played game by both sides. Not too many mistakes, just lots of good defense. And here and there, each team will get their plays. I mean, Alex Dolan wasn't very good in week 1, throwing 5 for 14, 91 yards, and an interception. But to say the least, I think that Mississippi State will get this win, whether it's a blowout or not. I don't think it will be a blowout with how Bill Snyder, man, he's so old now. But I think Mississippi State gets this one done.
Old man. This one's an interesting one. I was thinking of picking Kansas State, but they barely beat last week, so I can't really pick them this situation. Then it's a win game for them.
SEC wins in this situation.
So I think I'm going to go with Mississippi State here. I'm going to say they win it 4.
Say that again. It cut out.
The score of all this.
The score. The score. Hello? You there, Octogonal? Okay, sorry, it keeps cutting out, I guess. Say it one more time.
I'm going to go with Mississippi State in this one, 14. Is this sort of a must-win game for Kansas State? And
14
Bill
to what?
As they barely beat an FCS team last week. But I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. I think Kansas State's going to put up I'm going to go with the SEC in this one.
What was the score for Kansas State? Sorry, it keeps cutting out. 14 to what? I can't believe this thing keeps cutting out.
14-13.
Okay. I think that it's going to be a close game like that. I really do. Whether it's defense or not. Okay, on to number 19. This is already 31 minutes. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you do, drop some likes on this video, guys. And go subscribe to both of us.
Big fat.
Yeah, hit it. I mean, come on. Go subscribe to each other's channels. Let's get it going. Let's get it rolling. The UCF Knights. Yes. And guys, go subscribe to SCP. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys want to, go subscribe to SCP. I'm sure you guys already are. The UCF Knights coming off a dominant win versus the UConn Huskies now they're going to be playing South Carolina State Bulldogs. UCF's going to roll in this game. They're still really good. I don't think that they're going to be what they were last year, but they definitely have talent. UCF's going to win this game by a score of 63-10.
I said in my bold predictions, UCF making a bowl game. I think I'm going to be wrong about that. UCF played really well last week. So I'm going to go with the Knights in this one. Pretty simple. South Carolina State, they're not really anything crazy. I want to say UCF wins this game 45-6.
Poor Octogonal. I don't know if that's horse or FAU. Probably FAU. That was pretty sad. All right. Now on to Boise State. They got a big game versus OSU next week. But for this week, they have UConn, the team that we just talked about, or the team that they beat Troy in week 1. UConn shouldn't be a problem. I think they're going to roll. Boise State's going to win this game. This may be one of the closer games, in my opinion. Maybe not. Probably not. Boise State's going to win this game. I'm going to have them barely covering the spread of a score of 38-7. That just covers the spread. The over and under 64, and I don't think it's going to quite get there. It may, but I'm curious to see how they perform versus the UConn Huskies. I'm sure it'll be easy, but with them at home, UConn with that going back time, 4 hours, I just don't think they can do it. Poor team.
Poor Huskies.
God.
I think Boise State should take this one. I don't think it's going to be a surprisingly close game. I'm not sold on the Broncos at this point. I'm going to say they own 21. I think it's going to be a surprisingly close one.
What was
I do think
it was what
State
the
will
21
on to the win.
It was
24.
20. Wow. Okay. So Octogonal doesn't have him covering the spread. I'm very interested to see that. It's gonna be. I don't know if Octogonal will be wanting to do this, but I think we may do a recap to our picks for every week if he has the time, because I mean it is worth going back to see and review how we do. It's kind of like a test if you take it in that way. So, oh crap! Now we're on to number 21. This is the Michigan Wolverines, coming off a really crappy game versus Notre Dame. Disappointing for Jim Harbaugh, man. I mean, Shane Patterson played well besides the interception. He just got to throw touchdowns. But, I mean, 17 points is not enough. The spread's 28 versus Western Michigan. I know Western Michigan was good a couple years ago, but they are coming off a 13-point loss to Syracuse. Western Michigan's not what they were anymore. I mean, Corey Davis was good back in the day, but now it's a different situation. Michigan's going to roll and win this game. I'm going to only go with 35-10. That'll cover the spread just by a point or no points. It'll be right there. But the only reason I would say 35 is just this Michigan is not the team to go score tons of points. Just how their offense is built. Shane Patterson, I think, will have another good game. He's just got to throw touchdowns now. And when he can throw touchdowns, then we'll talk about Michigan being good again. I think Michigan needs to. I know this is a little off topic, but they need to try more passes in the shotgun. They can't be throwing it out of I formation every play. It's just not going to work. I'm pretty sure they threw most of their passes out of I formation. I know that's how they're built, but I just think that they need to try some more passes out of something but I formation or under center, really. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't throw a whole lot of passes that weren't in I formation or under center.
As well, what did you say the spread was?
28.
28?
I picked them 35-10, so right at the spread. Or, never mind, it's actually 3 under, so Michigan doesn't cover the spread.
Well, I'm going to say Michigan does win by 28. I'm going to say they win at 35-7. Western Michigan obviously is the same team that went undefeated for Wisconsin a couple years ago. And I think Michigan's going to rebound. I think Shea Patterson's going to do well, and they will get their first win of the season.
All right, on to Miami, coming off probably the worst loss of Week 1 to the LSU Tigers. They're playing Savannah State this week, and Miami gets back on track here. Not a very difficult game. It's 99.9% to 0.1. Mazika 0. It will roll. I mean, this team lost 52-0 to UAB. So I'm gonna pick Miami to win 65-0, just only because UAB shut them out. Okay, that's insane. Wow.
Miami on paper, they are one really good team. Malik Rozier, Michael Irvin on offense, or Michael Irvin the second, I guess. And on the defensive side of the ball, it's even better. Shaq Quarterman, Jaquan Johnson. Miami on paper is a top 10 team. They didn't look like a top 10 team, but they should take this one pretty easily. I'm not going to go too big of a score, 38-0. I know that's kind of small, but I think by the third quarter, Miami's just going to not really care, just relax. Still aren't going to allow any points. So I'm going to go with you in this one.
I do have a couple of games, or I think it's only one game, but I do have one game I do want to pick out of the top 25 here in a minute, just because it's a big laugh for me. Both teams are just hilarious. Or not hilarious. One of them is just one that you'll know here in a minute. But number 23, the Oregon Ducks move up one spot, and they are playing. They beat BGSU Bowling Green, yeah. So they're playing Portland State, the Vikings. They're taking off Minnesota. This should be an easy game here for the Ducks. I think Herbert's going to lay off those interceptions this week. Portland State lost 72-19 versus Nevada last week. This is going to be the 80-point game of the week. 80-7. Oregon absolutely flies in this game. I'm probably going to be wrong, but there's not even a spread on this game. It's that bad. So Go ahead, Octogonal.
Well, I would love to see Oregon get 80. Quack, quack, go Ducks. I think we played pretty well last week against Boston, or not Boston College, Bowling Green. I think we could have played better, but I think this one should be an easy one. I don't think we're going to score 80. I want to say we win it 55-3. I know that's not as much as Nevada scored, but sort of like the Miami game, I think Oregon, by the time it's third quarter, is going to realize we don't need to try super hard, so go Ducks.
All right, so now we're on to number 24, which will be, I believe it's South Carolina, yeah. And then Florida is 25, and they are playing Kentucky. Okay, so at 4:30, I think that Kentucky could be a solid team, but this is actually 6:30, my bad. Spread's 14 in Miami's favor, 50 points over and under. I don't think Florida's going to cover the spread here. I think Kentucky's a solid team. Frank's at quarterback, and then, I mean, their defense is still pretty decent. I mean, let's see, they actually gave up 20 to Central Michigan week 1. That doesn't stop me from saying that they won't make this game competitive by any means. I don't think that Florida's going to cover the spread. I got the Gators winning, though, 35-20, or 24. 35-24. Florida wins. Not covering the spread. But at the end of the day, I think that Florida's a good team, and they will be able to get it done here. Or, sorry, Wilson at quarterback, and then Snead at running back. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong side because they're both blue. But anyways.
This is a very tough choice for me. I think either team could win this game.
I agree.
I don't think Florida's all that good, and I'm pretty high on Kentucky. They have some talented offensive pieces. Benny Snell, C.J. Conrad. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats. Should be a close game. 27-24. I would say it's pretty
I would not be
matched,
shocked.
But, yeah, that very well could happen.
I'm very excited for that game. I mean, I know it's just Florida, but, I mean, still. I have one more game that I want to pick here before we go, just because it brings back memories for me. We're going to pick Tulsa versus Texas. Now, the only reason I'm doing this is because I really miss the Tulsa dynasty, and Texas sucked last week. Texas at home, they're favored by 23 points. My poor Tulsa Golden Hurricane are probably going to blow this game. They beat Central Arkansas last week, 38-27. I'm going to have the Golden Hurricane actually, the Longhorns not covering the spread here just because it's Tulsa. And I feel like Tulsa's an OG in my opinion. So I'm going to pick Tulsa to lose this game. But I think Texas is only going to win this game by about 20 points. I see Texas win this game 40-20. And Tulsa puts up 20 points at Texas. So we'll see if the Longhorns have another scare. But after losing to Maryland, surely they can get it together. I would not be surprised if they don't fill up the stands this week. Yeah, we'll see how they do. I will tell you one thing. I do not have them beating Oklahoma by any means.
I think Texas losing week 1 is a blow. I think it's the biggest in college football. I'll be in some turmoil. One of their offensive linemen passed away back in June, and that's pretty much just completely turned their football program upside down with a head coach and administrative lead. And the fact that they were able to beat Texas, I think that just shows that Texas is not that good of a team. But I still think they will be able to beat Tulsa. I'm going to say 44-17. They should win it. I think Texas does have a lot of issues. And if they don't win this game, then they really have a lot of issues. Then
go Tulsa. We'll see if the Golden Hurricane have any chance in that game. I doubt it, but I don't know. Maybe Tulsa can do it for me and do it for the series. Anyways, guys, after a 45-minute preview, we'll try to cut these down. It was just, I mean, it was the first time, and there was a couple games that we went on a little long about, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, come on, guys, let's drop some likes on this video, all right? And
10 likes.
10.
We can get more than 10. We can get more.
Whose channel? Because if we're talking about mine, we're going 20.
Yours.
20.
Yeah. Go big or go home.
If this does go
It's
up
20.
on Octogonal's channel, let's go for 10. And guys, don't forget to subscribe for more content, guys. And we got all the links in the description. Spotty Productions has a Discord now, so go join that. Let's go get that too.
So join it.
Go join Octogonal's too, because he's posting some fire in there. And I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else we're missing. Make sure to go follow Spotlight Productions on Twitter, Octagonal. I don't know when he's going to get into that community, but we'll see. Guys, yeah, if you guys have any games that you'd like to talk about, comment them in either of our comment sections. I believe this is going on Octagonal's channel. Is that right?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
We'll think about it. I mean, a 45-minute video is going to be a little much for either channel. Guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, drop some likes on this video. 20 for my channel. If it goes up on Octagonals, let's go get 10. Subscribe for more content, guys. You're not subscribed if you don't ring that notification bell. So go ring the notification bell, you hear me? And
Hit that bell.
Hit that bell icon. And make sure to go drop some likes on Octagonal series. I know I'm still in the transitioning phase, but I just bought Madden 19, so that won't be it for much longer. We're even talking about Team Builder. See, this is why you guys need to be in the Discord. You guys need to hear about this first. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go Sooners, and for Octagonal, go Ducks. I'd love to see that matchup again. With all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I guess we'll see you guys in the next one. Octagonal, anything else to say before we close off?
Quack, quack. Hopefully the Lions win on Monday Night Football.
Oh, God. Go Cardinals.